Welcome to Monday Jazz and Conversation, presented by a collaboration of 4 nonprofit organizations: Gold Coast Jazz Society, South Florida Jazz, Sunshine Jazz Organization, and the Miami Jazz Cooperative, all of whom are dedicated to bringing jazz to South Florida audiences. Each Monday, Wendy Peterson and Nikki Orta feature the music and talk to the country's most talented and interesting jazz musicians.
So we welcome Ira from his home in Miami to celebrate his 89th birthday with us online. Hello, Ira Sullivan. Happy birthday.
Hey. Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, the amazing Nicole Henry. Woo!
Hello.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John Fedchuk to the hang.
Hi, everybody.
John.
Great to be here.
The amazing and beautiful and the world's best person, Brenda Alford.
Hi, Brenda.
Live up to that.
Okay, I got some living to do.
The very incredible guitar player, Mr. Go ahead, you do it.
Jonathan Kreisberg.
How are you?
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Please welcome to Jazz and Conversation the amazing Joe Donato. Joey D!
Hello.
How are you? I'm so
Good evening,
sad
ladies and
that
gentlemen.
we
This
gave
is
you
Ralph
stress.
Edwards, and tonight it's Joe Donato. This is your life.
And now, the hosts of Monday Jazz and Conversation, Wendy Peterson and Nikki Orta.
Hi, everyone.
Good evening, and it's another Monday night here in tropical Stormville. I think we spent the whole day just hoping that our cars wouldn't float away, and but we made it through like we always do, which is super amazing. And we want to welcome you here to Jazz and Conversation, a show where we feature some of our greatest musicians and learn a little bit about them, or a lot about them.
Yes.
Sometimes we learn more than we really want to know.
I don't think that'll happen tonight.
No, it's all good. It's really exciting to be featuring this next young man.
The future of jazz.
The future of jazz. Absolutely. You know what? It's really true. And it makes you just feel all warm inside when you realize that jazz is in good hands, because the people carrying on the torch are just amazing human beings. So let's hear from him right away. He's just an amazing young man, and you're gonna really be impressed and glad that you tuned in. So let's listen to a little bit of the amazing Brandon Goldberg. Beautiful.
Nice tie in there.
Very nice.
I see what you did there.
Brandon,
I'm
how
14
old are
years
you?
old.
So
Yeah, I'm a
that means you're in
freshman.
high school. Just
Yeah, I
starting
just
high
started
school?
this
Is that are
year.
you in your? That's just amazing. So when did you actually start playing piano?
I started playing piano when I was 3. So there was a piano in the house, and one day as I came home from preschool, I tried to start playing the songs I heard in preschool, and when my parents realized that I was able to play what I heard, they found a piano teacher in the neighborhood, and the piano teacher said that to practice and to get to know the notes, that I should try and memorize the notes. So there would be like flashcards, right?
Okay, yeah.
And, one would have like C, D, E, F, G, and my mom tried to help me memorize the notes. And we figured out that I had perfect pitch when I was able to say the notes without even looking at the piano.
Right. Oh, that's just crazy.
Just
Yeah.
pouring salt on the wound, right?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, and he can do this too.
So you were just drawn to the piano, or you think if there had been a guitar or a French horn or something in your house, that would have, it would have drawn you as much, or is there something about the piano?
I think it would have been any instrument that I was able to put my hands on, but
Yeah.
I think specifically the piano. I mean,
Yeah.
I personally love the piano. I'm able to do
Right.
so much on the piano, and
Well,
it's so cool. Yeah.
plus you're 14. You can get to those other instruments whenever you damn
That's
well
true.
please.
Yeah.
You've got time.
Yeah.
You're looking at this from a whole different perspective than we are.
Oh my gosh. So you started when you were 3. And
Yeah.
did you like, were you just playing, whatever? I mean, or were you playing out of books, and what like brought you to jazz? Like, what was it that like sparked your interest in wanting to play jazz? Like, what 3-year-old or 5-year-old or 8 or 10-year-old wants, says, I think I want to play jazz,
So I was playing anything that my parents showed me or anything that anybody around me was showing me, and one day when I went over to my grandma's house, she showed me a video of the Rat Pack.
Okay.
And I got hooked on that and that whole
Yeah.
Sinatra thing. And
And you were in the
after-
single digits at that point, when you were five, when you discovered the
probably
rap.
around 5 or 6. And
So-
I love it.
And I got really into that for a little bit, and I found the Tony Bennett and Bill Evans albums one
Oh,
day.
wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
And when I heard Bill Evans play, and then I started checking out Oscar Peterson as well, when I heard those two piano players play, it was like, wow, that's really what I want to be able to do on the piano. And ever since, I've just been trying to check out as much jazz music as I can, and I've been getting deeper and deeper into it.
Beautiful. So we actually have a picture of you. I mean, a couple pictures of you when you were really little, so you can tell. They're so cute because you can't. Well, here we are with our
Yeah.
with the grandfather of Miami jazz.
Incidentally,
Yeah,
your contribution to that Amazing Grace
Oh, it was beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
collage that we did was really, really beautiful.
Thank you
So
guys for putting that together. That was so
It,
beautiful.
it
That was such
was
a
quite
cool
nice,
tribute.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for participating.
Yeah, you're-
But so you're a tiny little thing.
I know. Well, play the next one. Put the next one, because this one is like you're at a recital and your feet do not even touch the
Yeah.
ground.
So I
It's
think
just-
that was around the same time because they're both at UM.
Right.
But Ira Sullivan was really the first person that taught me and I guess mentored me a little bit, but showed me a bunch of tunes, told me some records to check out,
Right.
and really supported me. And I'm so grateful for him and for doing that for me. Yeah.
Yeah, he did that for you and so many other
And
amazing
so
young
many other people,
musicians.
yeah.
To the very end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a beautiful guy. And then it seems like another one of your mentors is Monty Alexander.
Yeah.
This is
So-
also when you were quite young.
Yeah, so I got really into Monty Alexander because, as I said, I went through my Sinatra phase, and he was playing a lot of the Frank Sinatra music, and he played with Frank Sinatra.
Wow.
So one of my first jazz piano teacher, Marcus Goschlich, was putting on the Miami Beach Jazz Festival, And the theme that year was Living Legends. So he brought in Rufus Reed, he brought in Bucky Pizzarelli, and then he brought in Monty. And he asked me to play that night, and I got to talk to Monty after I played, and Monty's just been so great to me and so supportive. And actually, when I recorded my first album, I called him and I asked him because I wanted to play Angel Eyes, and he played Angel Eyes with Sinatra.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask him about, like, what would Sinatra do, or what would you play under Sinatra, and what did he like and what didn't he like? Because if it was good enough for Frank Sinatra, it was good enough for anybody.
Yeah.
and if it's Monty, it's going to be
Right.
great. So
Yeah.
he stayed on the phone with me for about an hour and a half to 2 hours just telling me everything. And I'm so grateful that he did that for me. And that's just one example of so many other great things that he's done for me. For example, on my 10th birthday, I think there's a picture of that, or a video actually. On my 10th birthday, my parents surprised me and took me to Jazz at Lincoln Center to see him do his Sinatra tribute in New York. And as an
man.
early 10th birthday present, he invited me up and asked me to sit in and play Fly Me to the Moon with him.
I'll tell you
So
what.
that's,
Yeah. Why don't we show the audience
We have the
that
video.
moment?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah,
That's a
this
good
is
segue.
so
Right?
precious.
Well,
So precious.
You're killing the segues and the tie-ins. check this out, folks.
Before we leave you, I want to introduce you to a fellow that I met the other day. And I was very impressed by this gentleman. And he really said some incredible things. It tells me that there's a good future for this music. If you don't mind, and if he doesn't mind, his name is Brandon Goldberg. And I'd like to invite Brandon to come here and talk to me for a minute. Please come, Brandon. Hey, Brandon, how old are you?
I'm 9 years old.
You're gonna be 10 pretty soon, right?
Yep.
On Monday, right? Right after Valentine's Day. Talk to me a little and tell me what music you like.
I like to listen to jazz. It really shapes everything. It gives you the freedom to do anything you want with it.
Amen. Who is your favorite arrangers and singers? And
I love to listen to Herbie Hancock, Chick Corea.
how about singers?
I love to listen to Frank Sinatra.
Who else?
Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, all of that.
Do you like Nelson Riddle?
A lot.
I heard you told me that you had a collection of all of his records.
Yeah.
All of his records?
Yeah.
Wow. Brandon, would you do me a favor? Play the piano for me. not a future, ladies and gentlemen. It's a future. You got a birthday the day after tomorrow. Brandon Goldberg.
Yeah.
That's so great. It must have been so thrilling just to, like, for him to sit down
It was
next to you and
amazing.
play with you, and
Yeah.
Yeah, just such a great. I'm telling you what, the people that really are the true talents that have nothing to fear really are the ones that are the most giving. If you run into people that are afraid to share what they know and what they have and are don't want to help you for whatever reason or another one, it's just because they're afraid. People like that, they're just they're just wonderful. I mean, and there's so many of them. People that are true talents and real artists and just beautiful human beings. And I'm so glad that you've gotten to experience so many of them in your short life already.
Yeah, I've been so lucky to be around people, not just Monty, but as you can see in this picture, Avery Sharp is another person that has been so great to me and so helpful to me. He's to my right in this picture. And what was going on that night, that's at the Apollo Theater, and I was honoring McCoy Tyner with the Lifetime Achievement Award that the Jazz Foundation was giving him. But before that summer before that, I got to work with Avery at the Litchfield Jazz Camp, and he really showed me a lot, told me how like McCoy would approach something, because that McCoy Tyner is someone that I've always checked out and someone that I continue to check out, and to me, one of the greatest, I mean, to anybody probably, but one of the greatest pianists ever. And Avery really showed me his approach, how McCoy thought about the rhythm section, how he approached playing with John Coltrane, because he'd played with McCoy Tyner for 20 years. So,
wow.
And Avery's really helped me a lot throughout a lot of my career. All right.
I know, it's just amazing to think, like how much you've already done in this short amount of time that you've been playing it. It's just, but it really is incredible.
Well, I texted him while I was going on to not get cocky, because at that age I was learning to tie my shoelaces. So there.
But I heard you did a very good job of tying your shoelaces. Yeah.
I got it down finally. It looks like you've run into a few other notable people in your...
We've got Danny Glover.
Yeah, that was that same night at the Apollo Theater.
It's so amazing.
And let's see, we have this.
Yeah.
Oh, Harry Connick Jr.
Did you perform or were you...
So that was on the Harry Connick show. I got to go on the Harry Connick show, I think 2017. And he was just super nice to me. And I had such a great time. I got to play with him a little after the show. And apart from just meeting him and spending so much time with him, I got to talk and play with the band, and those are some amazing musicians there as well, like Neil Kane on bass, Jerry Weldon on saxophone, Lucian Barberin was playing trombone.
Right.
That was awesome for me.
I feel like Harry Connick is just one of those. Maybe because he kind of was so successful, in some pop areas and things like that. I feel like he's just underrated as both a singer and a piano player. He's
Definitely.
so good. He really is, and his arrangement, his time feel. I mean, I feel sad sometimes that I feel like he's underrated.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's an amazing singer, an incredible piano player, and he does all of his writing himself, which I actually didn't know. It's amazing writing.
I can remember having one of his CDs and loving the arrangement. I can't remember what it was. I think it might have been If I Only Had a Brain on one of his early CDs, and I looked it up to find out who did the arrangement, and it was him. And then I looked to see who did the string arrangement. It was like him,
Right.
So I was just like, no, come on, that's not fair.
And you had mentioned Bucky Pizzarelli. Here's a nice shot with the two of you.
Yeah, that's at the Litchfield Jazz Festival, and he was playing that night, and he sounded amazing. I couldn't believe it, but that was the second time I met him. The first time was at the Miami Beach Jazz Fest, and that's just such a cool picture for me.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And this crooner here.
I know this. I can't imagine how excited you must have been.
That was amazing for me. I was, I think, 8 or 9 there, and it was after one of his shows at the Broward Center.
So amazing.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to play for him or anything? Or
I've never gotten to play with him, but
oh my God,
I mean,
could
that
you
would-
imagine?
I couldn't. But,
It could. It's you know what? He's gonna watch this show, and he's gonna
hopefully, yeah.
Now, it's his. You're at a point in your career where obviously everything, sky's the limit. We're going to talk later about some of the things you are working on, but at this point in your life, how? I mean, I saw in one of your. We're not going to play the clip, but DNA, you were, you're playing with groups, you're playing solo piano, you're backing up singers. Is it all just like a kid in a candy store at this point for you to be able to sort of navigate your way and emulate your idols and make your own mark and all that?
A little bit. I mean, I've been lucky enough to be in so many different situations and to be able to be welcomed in so many different situations. I would say for my solo piano playing, I've always played solo piano. I think most pianists have, but actually, especially during COVID, I've been lucky enough to get some time to really work on my solo piano playing. But playing trio has always been one of those things that's so exciting for me because the interaction between the bass player and the drummer and the piano player is so special because the drummer and the bass player are keeping time, but they're keeping time in such a sensitive way that it really impacts what you're doing, and everything that you do impacts what the bass player and the drummer are doing. And I've been so lucky to play with some of the greatest bass players and drummers ever.
Right.
And
I'm guessing that when you, probably soon after you discovered that Tony Bennett, Bill Evans album, did you get into the whole trio?
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I got into the Bill Evans trio a lot. And then I checked out the Tony Bennett and the Bill Charlap album a little later.
Oh, it's so good, yeah.
Which is also amazing.
So how do you feel? Have you gotten a chance to work with many singers? Do you enjoy it? It's such a different skill set.
Definitely.
Now watch out. This might be Wendy trying to get a gig. Be careful about your answer.
I love playing with singers. It's such a challenge for me because I haven't played with too many singers, but it's such a learning experience for me every time because every singer likes the piano player to do something just a little different.
Yeah.
And I feel that I learn so much every time I do it, but I really do enjoy it.
Especially if you get somebody who's able to communicate what they want, because
that too, yeah, that helps.
There's that thing. I don't know really what you're doing there, but can you please play more? And you're just like, what exactly are you trying to say? Yeah, I could go, but I mean, I think it is. It's such the thing is, I don't feel like every piano. There's not a lot of piano players that like it, that love it, and then the ones that love it, like they just love it. And so we're always like, our radar is always up, like, like, is this somebody that really likes to play with singers, or they just want the
I
gig?
love playing with singers.
Yeah.
I mean, they are different skill sets.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
right. I mean, it's like it's not a foregone conclusion that a piano player that is really comfortable in a trio setting or any other setting is going to be equally as effective and comfortable.
When you think
doing
of people like Steve Renzi, who played with Peggy Lee for so many years, and who was Ralph, somebody that played with Tony Bennett for so
Ralph
many
Sharon.
years. Yeah, that until he passed away, and it's like because when the singer finds somebody that they love, they will that's it. That's their guy. It's their guy.
Hey, you want to play some for us?
Yes.
Sure. Here, let me get the mic stand out of the way this time.
We want to do one or two?
Yeah, let's do two.
Want to do another two?
All right.
We'll come back when you're done.
Sounds
Brandon
good.
Goldberg, ladies and gentlemen.
nice.
I like.
So when I hear that song, I think of Keith Jarrett.
Yeah.
So is that somebody that you've also listened to a bit?
Definitely. Keith Jarrett playing solo and Keith Jarrett playing trio is some of my favorite music to listen to. And I've definitely checked out a lot of Keith Jarrett. And I'm starting to hear it in my playing more and more, which is definitely a good thing. But yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good thing.
It's definitely a good thing.
So let's we want to make a quick announcement here.
Oh yeah, I wanted to say some of you might have, if you've watched the show, you might be familiar with it. But if not, down on there's a scroll going along that says, "Please support our musicians." Text the word tip jar to the number 44321. The first $100 will be matched. So this is what we do just to try to, keep musicians working. So this is basically our tip jar. And all of the money that gets donated tonight will go straight to Brandon.
Oh, no.
We don't take any. We don't, take 10% or anything. We just send it all right to him. So just know that whatever you send tonight will go straight to Brandon. And to help, keep supporting, his parents and, and like him taking him to concerts and paying for teachers and, doing whatever it is that, you need to do for this amazing thing that we're witnessing. So what you do, and because it's a little confusing sometimes, is as if you were texting your friend, you are going to, the message that will say tip jar. And the number that you're going to send it to is 44321. And then you actually receive right away a link that takes you to a very secure site where you could use PayPal or a credit card or whatever. And just so that the first $100 will get matched. So he will make $100 plus. So we're really excited, and I do want to say this too, because as you were talking about getting to see Monty on your birthday and things like that, how lucky are you to have had parents willing and able to support you in the way that they have. That's really a dream, a dream.
It is, yeah. I've been so lucky to have such supportive parents that are always willing to take me where I need to go, to get me to the gigs I need to play, and just for being so supportive in my music.
Yeah.
And for anything that I do. So I'm so lucky to have parents.
So I'm curious, Brandon, do you are you starting to enjoy more the writing aspects? As I've seen, we're going to play a little bit later your McCoy, composition, but
Yeah.
Are you really starting to enjoy the composition aspects?
Definitely. I love composing because I feel that it's really my voice. Not that it's not my voice when I'm soloing over a standard, but
Right,
I'm still playing the standard, not whatever I want to play at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I really like composing, and I love hearing. I've been lucky enough to have some of my favorite musicians play some of my original compositions. So that's another reason why I like composing so much, is because I get to share my voice with some of my heroes as well as the audience.
And did your mother ever have to force you to practice?
In the beginning, yes. I am not someone that practices too much, but I will sit down at the piano and play for a while. And whenever I do my writing, tying back to the writing question, I always write what I hear. I never sit down and say, all right, I've got to write a tune because I've got this gig coming up. Or
Right.
I've been lucky enough to have all my songs come to me, so
that's great.
And I feel that because I've gotten so comfortable on the piano, I don't necessarily need to practice my scales all day long, but I play enough to the point that I feel like my hands stay comfortable. And my parents don't force me to practice anymore, so that's good.
Nice. We're going to jump around because we still have a lot of pictures that I want you to talk about, and we have more videos to listen to. But since we're on the subject of composition, I found it very exciting and intriguing that you, I guess it's one of your most recent compositions, is a foray into the classical world, I guess tying in both the classical and jazz world, and you wrote a Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Are you a big classical music fan, and how did that whole thing come about?
more and more recently, I've been getting into classical music. I've been working on the Bach preludes and fugues with my classical teacher, and
Yeah, he's pretty good.
yeah, it's all right. But that's helped me with this technique and being able to hear a lot of melodic things. And ever since doing that, I got into classical music a lot, and I was approached by the Miami Symphony to write some pieces for them. So I wrote that piece, the Rhapsody in F minor, and then before that, I wrote another piece for them. And for the Rhapsody in F minor, I kind of had this idea that it would kind of be similar to Rhapsody in Blue, not in quality, because I don't think anybody can get that close to quality with Rhapsody in Blue, but the idea where it would have these different themes, and it would all kind of come together, but not one theme is completely finished until the very end. So when the Miami Symphony asked me to write something for them, that was kind of the idea that I had, and and I kind of always thought about classical and jazz as being two different worlds.
Right.
And my approach to this was, it didn't really have to be, because Gershwin kind of merged it, but I could do it in a more modern way with swinging and then I guess a more classical sound. So Ed Kaye actually was playing with the Miami Symphony that night. So I had this little solo section, and he soloed over it, and he made it sound so good. But that was such a cool opportunity for me.
Here's a question.
Does Brandon live in South Florida?
I do. I live right in between Miami and Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
Nice. I was going to...
I know. I had like 3 questions.
And Dave Drubin just messed my train of thought.
Dave.
Damn it, Dave. Well, you go with yours, and
I can't remember them. This is what happens when you get old.
You're looking at your future.
No, they're going to come up with...
I know what it was. I was curious. So, did you write sort of a piano score and have somebody orchestrate it, or have you delved into, sort of dabbling with orchestration?
No, so for both the pieces I've written, I've orchestrated them myself, and instead of writing it as a piano part first and putting it into the into Sibelius or the music software, I just did that right on my own, and I took the opportunity to really learn about how it should be done. And I was lucky enough to work with Jamie Roth, who studied with Gary Lindsay back in the day, and he really helped me out and showed me, all right, this is what you're going to do. This is how you write the French horn part. This is how you write the string part. This is what you'll write to make it clearer for the orchestra so they know what to do. And I'm really thankful that he gave me all of that knowledge, and I definitely see myself using that knowledge when I'm just writing charts or when I'm writing my own tunes, because I feel that orchestration directly correlates to the Great American Songbook and how all of us write tunes today.
And, one of the things that stuck with me from one of my former teachers, Vince Maggio, is he always talks about how the piano is like, and your hands is like, it's like the whole orchestra. Like, you can bring out the viola, with this finger, and here you can have like the bass, or, so you really can play around with colors and stuff. And the other thing I was going to say was, when you were talking about Ed Kaye, is that really the key to becoming better and finding your own voice is to always play with people better than you and surround yourself with just people to lift you up. I mean, that's really the key to life, probably, but music for sure.
I've been so lucky to surround myself with some of my favorite musicians, and I definitely feel that without them I would not be, I don't even know if I would be playing jazz at all, but they've just inspired me so much to keep on going and showing me so many different records to check out.
Let's take a look at some more of these people in your life.
Yes. Oh, look at this, Dr. John
and John Batiste.
Amazing.
And let's see.
A lot of these pictures are all from that night at the Apollo, so that's another one of that.
Okay.
I like this picture of you.
Yes.
They asked me to sign the wall, and that was amazing. That was like a dream
so
come true.
Exciting.
To sign that wall,
And got to meet this guy.
Woof.
Yeah. So there's kind of a funny story around that picture. So my parents took me to see Chick Corea to play actually the night after the Apollo. After that whole thing with McCoy Tyner, So my parents took me to see Chick Corea, and we sat where Chick Corea gets on and off the stage at the Blue Note. So at that table,
Did you try to trip him?
I actually kind of stopped him as he was coming off the stage and tried to talk to him. And then as he was walking back up to the dressing room, because the dressing room's upstairs in the Blue Note, I kind of followed him and I snuck into the dressing room. And
see, that's the stuff you can get away with at 9 that you can't do at our age.
And there was a piano there, and he asked if I would play for him, and I was so lucky to play for him. And that picture was taken right after I played for him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like another person that's very giving.
He is super nice. And this picture, so 3 of my musical heroes, Benny Green, one of my favorite piano players ever, and John Clayton, great bass player. And if you can see, back there is Jeff Hamilton getting out of the elevator.
Oh my gosh.
Kind of photobombing.
Yes.
Right. That is so cool.
Yeah, so that was on the jazz cruise, and I got to meet so many different people and get connected with a lot of these people, and especially Benny Green, who gave me a lesson on the jazz cruise for an hour and just talked to me.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful.
So much, and he's so gracious to me, and I'm so thankful to have someone like Benny Green always giving me shout outs and
you've definitely been able to make some contact here with the greats.
Oh my gosh, look at this.
Q.
Yeah, this picture was at another Jazz Foundation event. They were doing an event in Los Angeles, and they had a bunch of different jazz musicians come out. Patty Austin was there that night, and they had Marian Allen Bergman sing that night, and they sang all of their music, which was awesome. So, so Quincy Jones was hosting the Jazz Foundation's event, and I got to take this picture right after I performed, and I got to talk to him about writing for Sinatra and hanging out with Dizzy Gillespie, and it was so amazing, and he was super nice to me.
Yeah, that's amazing. Did you so you talked about having recorded a CD or a record. When did you do that? When was your first CD out?
So I recorded back in January of 2018, and it got released in April 2019.
Okay.
Is that the Let's Play?
Yeah, so that's Let's Play with Ben Wolf, Donald Edwards, and Miami native Marcus Strickland on saxophone.
That's great.
And yeah.
How did you pick the songs? Like what did you go through? I mean, I know that you said that you talked to Monty Alexander about certain tunes, but how did you pick the songs?
I picked music that I was comfortable playing, that music that I really enjoyed playing, and I'm a big fan of Ben Wolf and Donald Edwards and Marcus Strickland before I even got to meet them and talk to them about this music. So I kind of envisioned what we would sound like together and what music would sound really good. So I wrote some of this music to fit kind of what they're doing and add my voice to it, because that's really what I heard in my head, and I'm so lucky that it turned out so well. I mean, Ben Wolf helped produce this, and he gave me so many different tips and helped me like choose different things, which takes I wanted, how we record. And this was definitely a collective effort because we all put in what we wanted. For example, if you've checked out the record, there's a drum intro on Caravan, and we actually recorded the take of Caravan earlier in the day, and then after I left, Donald stayed back at the studio and listened back and thought it would sound really cool with a drum solo in the front. So Donald put in a drum solo in the front at the end. Like, everyone cared so much about this project, and I'm so lucky that they cared so much and they put all this effort into it, and I'm so happy with the turnout.
Well, I'll tell you, we'll continue talking about it, but let's listen to what your colleagues had to say about you, and then let's listen to a cut from that, and which was, interesting enough, are you a Beatles fan?
I am.
Because I want to play Blackbird.
Awesome. So when I said that my parents showed me a bunch of different music, the Beatles were one of the artists that my parents really showed me a lot of, and I got really into that music. And I go to a sleepaway camp, and a lot of my friends in my sleepaway camp are great rock musicians. So whenever I played with them, we would always play music from the Beatles, and I really got into the Beatles, not only from what my parents showed me, but from what my friends wanted to play as well. So I definitely got into the Beatles that way.
And the Beatles definitely lend itself to putting your own stamp on it. You know, like
Definitely.
the melodies are beautiful but simple, and so you really can just kind of play
You can
with
do
it
a lot with it, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so here is Blackbird.
Well, after first we're going to listen to all his all the gushing
That's
and
great.
here we go.
An old friend of mine contacted me, knows Brandon. I said, of course, I'd love to do it. So I arranged the studio and the musicians. At first, I didn't realize who he was. And then once I talked to him, I figured out that this is the kid I've been hearing about. I remember when I spoke to him the first time, I told him, I said, look, I know you're 11, but I'm not going to treat you as an 11-year-old pianist. I'm going to treat you as a pianist, and we're going to try and make some music.
Yeah, I'm just honored to be here, to be chosen by somebody from such a different generation.
I met Brandon, but I didn't know I met him. I was playing a gig at the Jazz Standard with the Mingus Big Band, and this little guy comes up and he didn't know the tune. He just sat in and used his ears, and I was like, wow, this guy is going to be pretty amazing. I mean, you know, I'm in awe of what this kid is doing, and he's going to be a force on the music scene, definitely on the jazz scene.
It's very remarkable just seeing the vigor with which he approaches music. It's to have that kind of energy in the room excites me. It makes me excited again. It reminds me of when I was that age. You know, I started when I was 11.
Brandon's very aware when he's playing what's going on around him. He's a great musician. I mean, I know there's a lot of focus on the fact that he's 11, understandably, but if he was 40, I would feel the same way about him.
I feel like he's somebody who's listening.
I mean, the important thing is how we play together. He's already thinking like that, so he's an ensemble player. He knows how to lead the band.
When you hear this record, you'll get the point. Look out for Brandon Goldberg.
very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, and it really does sound like you guys have been playing together for a while, you know?
Yeah, that was actually the first time that we ever played
That's
together.
so crazy.
Which is crazy because listening back to, listening back to it, you hear the chemistry.
And that is something that's beautiful about, you know, speaking the language of music, you know, and jazz, is that you can really connect with people that you just met, you know, if you're willing to listen.
Yeah, now I've been so lucky to play with them that there's even more of those moments where we're playing the same thing or we're thinking the same thing.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to be looking at some more pictures, and you've played with and met a lot of people. Do you have a collection of people that you would love to play with that are on your list of must plays?
I mean, I want to play with as many musicians as I can and play with a lot of different people. But I mean, obviously Ron Carter, that's up there with me. Christian McBride is another person. Wynton Marsalis. The Peter Washington, Kenny Washington. I've been so lucky to play with a lot of my heroes, and I'm actually going into the studio, I think, in 2 weeks and recording with another set of some of my favorite musicians, with Josh Evans on trumpet, Stacy Dillard on saxophone, Lucas Curtis on bass, and this recording is going to feature Ralph Peterson on drums. So
very nice.
So those are some people that I'm really looking forward to playing with and playing some of my music with.
Very cool. Well, here's a picture of you with Christian.
Christian McBride. Yeah, that's a while ago.
Yes, we could see.
Yeah.
And let's see some other...
And that's Ambrose Akinmusir, one of my favorite trumpet players. That's someone else that I would love to play with.
Mm-hmm. And these aren't labeled, so, and I don't recognize them.
Yeah, Benny Green, obviously. Benny
From
Green.
the other ones.
Yeah. And Lee Konitz, who I got to spend an evening with. It's funny. So I was at Jazz at Lincoln Center for this thing that they call Jazz Congress, where they have a bunch of different people come and talk about jazz.
It's in January, isn't it? Like every
January,
January they do that?
right after APAP.
Right.
Yeah, so that picture with Benny Green was taken at Jazz Congress, and one night, right after Jazz Congress, me and my mom went over to Dizzy's, and I saw Lee Konitz walked in, and I went to go talk to him, and he followed me back to our table and had dinner with us.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then it gets better, and then we were going to go see the Mingus Big Band play at the Jazz Standard, and he came with us, and I got to spend the night with him, and I talked with him about playing with Lenny Tristano, Oscar Peterson, and it was so awesome to get to spend the night with him.
Yeah.
Just to hear the stories firsthand.
Right, that's always the best part, just a direct connection. And speaking of Ralph Peterson.
Yeah, so Ralph Peterson's someone that's always supported me and always looked out for me, and I'm super excited to be playing with him. I played with him for the first time this summer, and we're heading into the studio to play some more music, and I'm really looking forward to it, and I can't wait for that.
And then soon duo piano record with this guy? Yes?
Maybe if he's up for it.
He probably would.
Oh, that's so
I think he's another one of those musicians that never stops exploring and experimenting.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was right after, That was right after I played at Newport. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, I keep on.
No, that's okay. No, it's good. I saw that you have a gig coming up next Thursday at Lincoln Center. So you want to tell us a little bit about that in case anybody wants to check it out?
So we're going to be playing, this is the same band that I'm recording with. We're going to be playing all of the music that we're about to record. So we're going live from Jazz at Lincoln Center at Dizzy's. So you can find all the information on their website, and it's jazzatlincolncenter.com.
And people can watch it virtually.
And you can watch it virtually. I think it's $5 or $10 to get in, but you get a seat and amazing quality recording and amazing quality video.
That's I happen to.
Let's put Brandon's website up while we're talking about websites.
I happen to have, but if you want to see the concert next week, you would go to Jazz at Lincoln Center.
Right. Jazz at Lincoln Center. I think it's
jalc.org, and then you can
something like that. Yeah. You can find it on the internet.
Absolutely.
Or on my website, actually. It's
there you go.
So there you go. So
under upcoming gigs. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
on my website.
One of the things that I love so much about watching concerts from Dizzy's, and because they do quite a bit of free ones.
They do, yeah.
And it's really like you have front row seats, because
It
the
is.
sound is amazing. There's different angles, so you can see the piano player's hands and you can see the drummer, and so you're getting all these different angles, and it's just really they do such a great service. So definitely check out their site also, because they're putting on great things, and it really is like you've got front row seats to these amazing shows.
Yeah.
We had mentioned your composition, McCoy, and we do have a video of that, and that was at Dizzy's, that performance?
That I'm not sure. There's multiple
Oh, wait a minute.
performances
Let me
of
see.
McCoy.
Hold on. It is... Oh, Birdland Theater.
Birdland.
Sorry.
At Birdland, yeah. So I
Yeah.
wrote that based on that night at the Apollo. Oh, perfect. My mom put the link in the...
Yes, there it is. Right there.
There it is. Awesome. So that's how you...
Mom
get
is
to
on it.
Dizzy's.
She is.
Yeah.
She is on it.
Yeah, she always is, but yeah. So I wrote McCoy.
By the way, I'd like to thank your mom, Ella. She has been so helpful in getting this show together.
The pictures
the
and the
pictures and the
links
videos. So
and-
thank you so much for that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. She's right there. Yes.
That's right.
But yeah,
I'm
so
sorry,
I wrote McCoy based on that night at the Apollo Theater, where we're seeing all those pictures from. I had the honor to present him with the Lifetime Achievement Award that the Jazz Foundation was giving him, and he played Walk Spirit, Talk Spirit that night. So I wrote my composition, McCoy, based a little bit based on that song, and based on my experience with it. It was so amazing that I got so inspired, and this melody just popped into my head. And at the end of it, I'm not sure if we do it on this performance, but on the recording at the end of it, you can hear us go into Walk Spirit.
Okay.
So I wrote this tune based off of Walk Spirit, Talk Spirit, which is what we played that night.
Okay, so here we're going to hear you with your trio quartet. is
Yeah,
it?
so this is
Yeah.
John Michelle on bass and Mark Whitfield Jr. on drums.
Great. So good. So good.
Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you.
Do you have a favorite place to play? Of the places you've played?
I love playing at Dizzy's. I love playing at Berlin. I love playing at WDNA down here. I would love to play at the Miami Jazz Co-op. I love playing at Mesro's in New York.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been lucky enough to play at so many great venues that it's really hard to choose one. But, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we might be able to help you get with an in to the Miami Jazz Co-op.
You'll reach one of your dreams.
We'll help you check that off the list.
Awesome.
And so we know you've got a concert coming up next week, and as well as a new recording. What else what's like in your future? What kind of things do you see happening? I mean, you got to finish high school, damn it.
Yeah. I've got more than 3 years left of that. I'm only in my freshman year, but yeah. I just keep on looking forward to playing with more and more musicians, and I have so much fun when I play music that I just want to keep on having that attitude towards it and keep on having fun and keep on meeting all of my heroes and being able to hopefully play with all of them, and hopefully when things get a little better, hope to come back to gigging soon.
Yes.
Do you see yourself staying in South Florida for once you're finished with school? You want to do the whole New York experience, and I know you've played there, but the living there and all that.
I think I want to go to New York for a while, but I actually love the scene down here, and there's so many great places to play and so many great musicians down here.
So many great players, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you planning on doing the whole college thing, music,
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. That's great. So exciting. Well,
he knows just what to say in front of Mom.
Well, the exciting thing is that we really have so much to look forward to, and we're just,
You sound marvelous, and beyond that, you seem like a really, really great guy, and fortunately, it seems like that's who you are, and that's something at our stage of the game we realize that becomes as important, if
Absolutely.
almost more important than what you are as a player. Your attitude and your spirit and your
how you treat
maturity
others,
I'm gonna have my eye on you, because I think you might go places.
Thank you so much.
Well, would you play us one last song before we say goodnight?
Sure.
Thanks.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me. Thank you so much to everybody on Facebook and YouTube for tuning in.
Well.
Yeah, here, I'm going to play On the Sunny Side of the Street. Let's end this on a good
Awesome.
note.
There you go.
Brandon
End it on
Goldberg.
a positive note. Make it last. Make it last. Thank you so much. That was really so special. And, to get to hear live music during this time is always such a joy and such a privilege.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me. Yeah.
Thank you. Our future is in good hands. And again, thank you. Thank your mom for making this possible. And it was a pleasure.
And maybe when your record comes out, we can do a CD release, in Miami or something.
Yeah,
that would be amazing.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
All right.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
Looking forward to amazing things. So thank you so much. Have a great and be safe.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Good night.
Well, let me just say this. It's another Monday in the books. Down the tube. No, not down the tube. This was so not down the tube. This was so fun.
Inspiring.
And yes, inspiring. That's a good word for it. Want to thank again, as always, our amazing partners in this, which we are so grateful and ever so thankful for. Gold Coast Jazz Society, where you can find them at www.goldcoastjazz.org. South Florida Jazz, and you can find them on southfloridajazz.org. Of course, the Sunshine Jazz Organization, or the SJO as I know them, at www.sunshinejazz.org. And of course, the Miami Jazz Cooperative. And you can find us at www.miamijazz.org. Check out the websites, get to know all of us a little bit more. I do believe there are some things that are going to start happening. People are starting to think about putting on some concerts and figuring out ways to do that, or whether online or live. So definitely keep checking out things, because a lot of great things. People are getting creative, and that's always a joy to see. And we have to keep the music going, because the worst thing that could happen is because all the work is gone, that people just figure out other things to do, because this is important, I think.
It is.
So, and we thank you for joining us on this journey. Next week, we have the killer saxophonists. I don't think they're actually killers, but they play that way. Gary Keller and Troy Roberts. This should be a really fun and interesting evening. I'm really looking forward to them. The following week, which is November 23rd, we've got another great saxophone player and singer and band leader, Greg Diaz. He was my former partner in Mad Romance, which maybe we'll play a little clip of that, because that was one of my favorite things ever. And then, if that weren't enough, we have the end of November. We'll bring Hendrik Mjorkens, the world's tallest jazz harmonica player, amazing songwriter, amazing harmonica player, and just a really funny and talented guy. So we've got lots of great things coming up. We hope that you see us every Monday night, or you can watch a replay. But and please share and help post us, help promote it, so we can get even more people watching. The more people that watch, the more people we'll put in the tip jar, so our musicians can get a little bit more money, and every little bit helps. So we hope that you stay safe and happy and healthy, and we will see you next week. Thank you so much.
Good night.